Hello Rebels and welcome back to my life. So I already made a video for today, but I decided not to post it because when I watched it back, the video came across as attacking somebody who I really don't want to attack because I respect them and like them a lot, and I don't want to do that. But the reason I made the video in the first place was that I had been pointed to something that this person had said online, which was, I don't know, kind of attacking um, people who were in a lower segment of the industry than they were. It's a phenomenon called punching down. There's two types of criticism in any artistic field. Punching down and punching up. Punching up is, of course, when you're coming up in the industry and you're talking about the people who are already on top and how what they're doing has maybe become slightly problematic or isn't really as good as it could be, especially considering the massive resources that they have available to them. Punching up is when, like, young up-and-coming comedians make jokes about how these big, millionaire comedians have kind of, toned all of their material down and watered down their routines to have more mass market appeal. So that's punching up at the comedians who are much bigger than they are. Punching down is when somebody who has basically made it, is already being tremendously successful at whatever it is that they're doing, kind of turns around and says disparaging things about people who are still on the way up. Frankly, I don't really like either one of these. But if I had to pick one that I dislike more, it's punching down. However somebody got to where they are, if they're at the point where they're successful and doing really well and their basic needs are being fulfilled and they can take care of their family and, basically sort of live the sort of life that they want to do with their art, and maybe even like much more than that, like they're making far in excess of what they need for, basic survival. I don't know why that person feels justified in commenting on and attacking the way that somebody who hasn't made it yet is trying to get to that place. Because we all start off, and I am to some degree still in this situation of wanting to turn what we love to do into what we can do for a living and what actually completely supports us. And what's worse is when that punching down turns into advice on how to get to the position that they're at and how to do things as well as they do, or how to be as successful as they are, and that advice is bad or wrong in some way, or is like potentially harmful to the person hearing it. And that's the way that I felt about what this person said, is that it wasn't just that, like, I kind of felt personally attacked by the statement that they had made. It was that I feel like a lot of people hearing this, especially hearing it from this person, would take that advice as gospel and could really get badly hurt because of it. I mean, let's say that somebody was a multimillionaire on the stock market because back in the day they happened to invest $10,000 in Apple stocks, and so they now have millions and millions and untold millions of dollars, right? If they were to then turn around and say, all you got to do is invest all of the money that you have in a single stock, that would be bad advice. Any financial advisor would say that is bad advice. Yet this person has millions and millions of dollars, and maybe they're popular, they have popularity because they can use that money to leverage themselves into fame, and people want to listen to them and everything like that. So those people would listen to that advice just blindly, not even wanting to pay attention to anybody else, because clearly anybody who disagreed with somebody this successful and awesome is just an idiot and like trying to harm them, right? Now here's the thing, is that I think that the person who, in this case, I felt like was punching down, didn't think that that's what they were doing at all. They probably didn't intend that sort of communication or to cause that effect on somebody who is still trying to make it. But they were giving advice that has been the same advice that so many people in the same industry have been giving for so long, and which has proven so incredibly harmful to so many people, and I think to the state of the art and the industry as a whole. And the industry is struggling right now because of these old holdovers that have just existed for decades, if not centuries. And so it was just very disappointing to hear. And I have been upset about it kind of all day, and when I'm thinking about something all day, I usually say, well, that's what I should make a YouTube video about. And so I did. And I just can't put it out. Maybe punching up is justified in this case. Maybe it would be understandable. But in this case, this is just somebody that I would never want to punch or to seem like I was attacking. This person already gets tons of completely unjustified and spiteful and bitter hatred online, despite being like a really good person who does a lot, like so much to help people and the world. And I don't ever want to be seen as being in that camp. I guess the really frustrating thing is that like I just want to reach out to the person, you know, I just want to communicate to them and be like, you said this thing, and like not only did I feel like it was personally attacking me, but like you're giving advice that I have seen hurt people. I have seen people following that advice and failing miserably because it's not always the best advice, even though you made it sound like it is. But of course I can't just reach out to the person. Like I can't I can, and you know, I will, I don't know, probably send them an email, I guess. I don't know. It's like the kind of person where like I've already sent them tons of communications in the past and like never gotten an answer, you know. It's like that kind of person. It's like if you wanted to tell J.J. Abrams something, like, what are you supposed to do? Okay, I'm sure maybe you could track down, like, his assistant's email address, but, like, yeah, it's probably nothing's gonna happen because of it, right? I don't know. We develop these relationships with people that we follow and that we like a lot, and we feel like we know them, and we like them, and we respect them, and sometimes when they do something that we think falls short of the standards that we have constructed for them, we want to tell them about it. We want to ask them to clarify, or like, did you really mean that? Because let me tell you how it came across to me. But of course, if every single person who felt that way did that, then the person would spend literally all of their time answering questions and not actually doing the thing that we love and admire them for. So I don't know. It's a weird thing, and it's a little bit irritating. And what I hate most is just like the feeling of impotence, of like, that advice is going to be there forever, and tons more people are going to watch that advice, that statement, which is years old, than are ever going to see or watch my YouTube video. And they're going to believe it more. You know what I mean? Like, even if I were to say something, it would never get the attention that original statement did. So what's the point? That's what's going on today, Rebels. I have no idea what to do about it. I guess my advice here today is just don't believe everything you hear. Even if you see something or you hear a piece of advice that seems like it's coming from the most reputable and most knowledgeable person in the world on that particular topic, they might be wrong, or they might have such a limited perspective, which is actually what's the case here. It's like, okay, I get that that's your experience, but like that's this tiny, tiny, tiny little experience. And you do seem to be ignoring and minimizing the experience of so many people who have tried to go through the same thing, who have tried to reach the state that you're at. And just because you were the lottery ticket doesn't mean that the best financial advice for everybody is to play the lottery and expect that to solve their financial difficulties. I don't know. I'm having a bad time coming up with a good analogy for this. It's super annoying. I don't know. If the person ever does respond to an email, maybe I'll release the video, or maybe I'll figure out some way to revise or communicate what I'm trying to say better. I don't know. It's just been one of those days. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you as always to my patrons who make my YouTube channel possible. I really love you guys. I really love that I can talk about this kind of crap with you, and that I can share these experiences with you, and that you guys stick around, and I can like use you as a sounding board, and we can talk. By the way, please let me know in the comments if this is just way too fucking vague and I should get rid of it, or if you have advice or whatever. And thank you for being here and helping support me. You know, I mean, everything that I do is because of you guys, and because of like amazing people that I get to work with, and I'm just really lucky, and I just hope that I never make a video that some person who's still on the way up sees and feels like is a personal punch right to whatever part of their body happens to be particularly sensitive. An extra special shout out to my supporters on Patreon who make all of my YouTube videos possible. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.